look at you. Oh, you made it down the stairs.
What's up, you guys? Now, I am going to tell you guys exactly what happened on the day of my surgery. So I can finally do this video. I couldn't do it right after surgery. I mean, I was feeling kind of loopy. But today is Friday, and I did have my surgery on Tuesday. And I was going to make this video for y'all on Wednesday, but I wasn't feeling good. But I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But, yeah, on the day of my surgery, they took me to the waiting room. The surgery was supposed to be at 11 o'clock. I got to the waiting room like around 11:15 because the nurse, they had to give me a wheelchair because I was only using one crutch. And that one crutch was going to be too long of a walk for me because, you know, my shoulder is still healing. But I am using two crutches now, so that's a good thing because my shoulder is... it's like 90% healed now, so I can like raise up my arm with no problem now. But anyway, they wheeled me over to the waiting room. It was on the 4th floor, and we went through the green elevators. So I was in the waiting room. I got to the waiting room like around 11:15, and they didn't call me to the back until 12:15. So I was sitting there for like a whole hour just watching TV and just waiting for them to call me. I'm like, okay. They said it's supposed to be at 11 o'clock, but it is 12:15 and they barely calling me. So I knew I was going to be there for a while at that moment. So, yeah, they wheeled me to the back and they asked me if I had anybody to pick me up after the surgery was over. And I was like, yeah, my fiance could come get me. She not my fiance yet, but she my girlfriend now. But I just told him fiance, you know, because it just sounds good when I say it like that. You know, my fiance is coming to pick me up. It just sounds better. So they had to call her. They had to call Amber to verify she was going to come pick me up. And she verified it, yada, yada, yada. So they asked me if I had to go to the restroom before they start. And I was like, yeah, I really do got to pee. So I went to the restroom. And after I used the restroom, they took me to this room where like it was like a bunch of patients in there, and they had like a bunch of curtains to, you know, so they could have their privacy. So they wheeled me to the room, and then I had this bed, and they had the curtains around, and they had a hospital gown. And they told me, they were like, okay, so you're going to take off all of your clothes, including your socks and underwear. I only had one sock on, you know, because my foot was in the cast. So I only had one sock on my foot and one shoe on my foot. They were like, yeah, take everything off. I'm like, oh, dang. Even my underwear. And they asked me if I had anything valuable, you know, don't bring it. So I didn't bring my cell phone. I didn't bring my car keys. I didn't bring my ID, wallet, none of that. So I just brought myself, basically. So I took everything off. And then, like, the hospital gown had, like, a bunch of sleeves and everything, and a bunch of strings attached to it. So I was having problems trying to put on the hospital gown. And they kept on asking, are you ready yet? Do you have the gown on yet? And I'm like, I need a little help. I'm like struggling. You know, I got all my business out and everything. You know, I got the gown on, but my business was like sticking out. You know, they did have the curtains, you know, to cover it up so they wouldn't see me. I mean, I did have my own privacy. So I had to have them come demonstrate how to put on this hospital gown because it was weird. Like, it was just, that hospital gown hard to put on. Like, I was having a hard time with it. But anyway, they showed me how to do it. Put on the hospital gown, laid in bed, and then they asked for my date of birth. They asked if I knew what foot I was having surgery on. I'm like, well, biggest day I have the cast on my leg, so common sense will tell you it's this foot. But I didn't say that, though. I was real nice. And they asked me, like 10 different nurses kept on asking me, oh, can I have your full name, your date of birth, and what foot are we working on today? I'm like, they were like, I know you keep answering this question, but we have to make sure we all on the same page. I was like, okay. So, yeah, they told me exactly what they were going to do. So that the doctor, she came in. She was like a training nurse, a training doctor or whatever. You know, she was a student doctor. And she said that I was the first patient that she was going to be working on. Like, she never worked on the patient at all, so I was her test dummy. So I feel special. I'm like, oh, I'm a test dummy. Okay. I said, I feel kind of special now. I'm your personal test dummy. So she was like, yeah, so hopefully everything goes good, I was like, I better go good. So the anesthesia nurse, he came in and he explained everything from detail to detail what they were going to do. So he told me that they were going to give me an oxygen mask to put on. And he said they're going to put the numbing needles in my leg. They shot me in my leg like 5 or 6 different times to numb my entire leg. And he said that they were going to have tubes down my throat, but I was going to be sedated. I was going to be asleep while this is going on. And he said that they were going to cut open my leg to get to the bones in the foot that were fractured. And they were going to trim the bones and sew it back together. I was like, ooh, that sounds painful. He was like, you're not going to feel a thing. You're going to be completely sedated. And he said, and if you happen to wake up during the procedure, we'll give you some more sleeping gas. I was like, okay. I was like, but I hope I don't wake up because I do not want to see what's going on. But he was like, it takes about a good 13 to 15 seconds for you to fall asleep after we give you the sleeping gas. I said, dang, that's some powerful stuff right there. He said, because it actually goes inside of your bloodstream. So he told me all that, and he asked if I needed if I lost too much blood, will I be willing to get a blood transfusion and all that? I was like, am I really going to lose a lot of blood? And he was like, you never know. But if you do need any blood transfusions, do you consent to that? We need your consent. I said, well, yeah, you go ahead and do that. But I was nervous. And he asked me, did I have surgery before? I said, no, this is my first surgery ever. I had surgery. I got my wisdom teeth pulled. But I'm talking about like surgery. This is actually my first surgery on my body. So I was a little nervous and I didn't know what to expect. And he was like, everything's going to be fine. He said, when you wake up, the side effects could be a sore throat, because you're going to have the tubes down your throat. So your throat might be sore. You could have vomiting or diarrhea. Those are the possible side effects. I was like, I hope not. I hope I don't have no side effects. So he explained that to me, and he asked me, was I ready to get wheeled to the surgery room? And I was like, yeah, let's get to it. So they wheeled me over to the room, and next thing I know, I'm just looking up at the ceiling like this. And then I saw the doctor. He had all kinds of different needles and stuff. I was like, are they going to poke me and stick me with all that stuff? It was like a whole bunch of different needles. I was like, I'm getting nervous at this point. I'm about to hop out the bed and just take off running at this point. So I'm nervous, and I'm telling them I'm nervous. I was like, I'm kind of nervous now. Y'all kind of scaring me. They were like, no, everything's going to be fine. Just relax. You're going to be sedated. You're not going to feel a thing. And so I'm just looking up at the ceiling, and the doctor say, before we give you this sleeping gas and more anesthesia, I want you to think about something that you enjoy doing, but it can't be X-rated. He said, because if it's X-rated, you might wake up talking about it. I was like, he said, just think about something, non-X-rated. So I'm just thinking Hawaii, because I always wanted to travel to Hawaii. So I'm like, Hawaii, beautiful beaches. I said beaches, guys, okay? Nice sand. Nice hotels. As soon as I said hotels, in my head, I'm thinking all this in my head. As soon as I said nice hotels, I'm thinking about the nice hotels. Next thing I know, I'm looking around, and the room is completely different. Like, I'm back in the room where I had to put on my gown at. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember them wheeling me to the room. Like, did they wheel me to the room? I was thinking about Hawaii, because they didn't tell me when they were going to give me the sleeping gas. So I'm like, okay, when are they going to give me the sleeping gas? And then my throat is like sore. I'm like, why is my throat so sore? So I'm looking around. I'm like, I know damn well they didn't do that surgery this quick because I don't remember nothing. So the doctor came in the room. She was like, oh, how are you feeling? And my throat was on fire. And I was like, did you guys do the surgery yet? They said, yep, we're all done. I'm like, for real? They're like, yep, you did good. And I had on a different cast because I still had my cast on. at like the whole time I still had the other cast on, and I looked down at my foot, and my foot was in a different cast. I'm like, I do not remember none of this. And then I felt my leg. I couldn't feel my leg. I tried to touch my leg. I couldn't feel a thing. Like my leg was completely numb and it was swollen. It was like big, like puffy. I'm like, my leg is fat and my throat was sore. And then I had to pee. So I'm like telling the nurse, I'm like, I really got to go to the restroom. And they were like, okay, we'll give you a urinal. So they gave me this urinal. And I'm trying to use the restroom with this urinal. I couldn't pee to save my freaking life. I'm like, why can't I pee? I cannot pee. Like I was trying for 10 minutes. Nothing would come out. And it was like that full blast pee. Y'all know like when y'all drinking beer or something and that full blast pee when you really got to go to the restroom, you literally got to run to the restroom. It was that kind of pee and it would not come out. I'm like, why isn't it coming out? Like this is not normal. Why isn't my pee coming out? So the nurse came in. She was like, did you use the restroom yet? I said, I can't. I cannot go to the restroom at all. Like, it's not coming out. So she was like, oh, yeah, that's one of the side effects. I said, they didn't tell me that not being able to pee was one of the side effects after the surgery. Like, that nurse did not tell me that. He said I was going to have a sore throat. That was a possible one. He said diarrhea or vomiting and fatigue. He didn't mention anything about no pee. And she was like, well, let me take off your IVs and get you a wheelchair because you're still under the anesthesia. And we'll go to the restroom together and I'll help you pee. And I'm like, I have a fiance and she's not going to be happy about that. So she unplugged everything off of me, took off all IVs and everything, put me in the wheelchair, rolled me to the restroom. And she was in the restroom with me and I'm still trying to pee. I'm standing up on one foot, holding on to the rail so I won't fall down. Trying to pee, nothing is coming out. Nothing at all. And I told her, I was like, well, maybe if you step out the restroom, maybe I can, use it. She was like, no, I have to stay in here with you just in case, you fall down because you're still under anesthesia. We don't want you to have an accident. I said, okay. So she was like, well, let me try to run the water. So she ran the water and I'm just closing my eyes, trying to concentrate, trying to pee. It took me 10 minutes to do that, like 10 freaking minutes. And then when it started coming out, it came out slowly, like, psh, psh. It came out like in spurts, like, psh, psh. The next thing you know, after a few spurts, it was like, psh. I was like, yeah, now that's the kind of pee I need. So after I peed, I felt much better. And yeah, they gave me all the information that I needed. They told me that I need to go to my nearest pharmacy to get my medication. And they gave me 2 kinds of medication. They gave me the gabapentin, which is expensive as hell. And they also gave me tramadol. It's like Tylenol 3. And they said that would help with pain. I wasn't in any kind of pain at the moment because I was numb. Like I couldn't feel nothing on my leg. Like I wasn't in pain. But the anesthesia took 24 hours to wear off. And on Wednesday night, that pain started shooting in my foot and inside of my leg. It was like a sharp stabbing pain. So I'm like, oh, I need some medicine. I need some medicine. And, I had to literally cash out my daddy $60 to give me some gabapentin. And that wasn't even helping. But the pain finally went away. Like I woke up this morning, I was in no pain at all. The pain lasted for 2 whole days from Wednesday night. Well, not 2 days because it started Wednesday night and then it was hurting all day yesterday. So it lasted like a little over 24 hours. Like just sharp shooting pain. Like I couldn't even sleep. But now the pain went away. Like I haven't been in pain at all this whole morning. So that is a good thing. And I couldn't even do the YouTube video because my throat was sore and I was in pain, and then I kept having to clear my throat. Like I felt like I had flu-like symptoms after the surgery. Like my throat was on fire. But all of that is over now. And I do have another follow-up appointment on the 18th of this month, which is on a Friday. So that will be in 2 weeks. So hopefully in 2 weeks, I can finally start moving around. And, they told me to stay off my foot for 6 weeks. But my aunt, she got me a knee scooter. And here's a picture of it. So this is my knee scooter that my aunt got for me. And it was expensive too. But I definitely need this. You know, I can put my knee on top of the black part and use my good foot and just scoot with it. Much better than crutches. Much better. So, yeah, that's my knee scooter. I haven't tested it out yet, but I am going to test it out on the 18th when I go to my follow-up appointment. And hopefully I can do some DoorDash after that because it's been busy. Like, DoorDash been super, super busy because of the weather. Like, the weather been real cold and, you know, we had an Arctic blast. So they were talking about possible ice on the road. So it's been booming and I cannot even do it. And it's killing me. Like, I could be making some serious money right now, but I can't do it because of my stupid leg. But, you know, it's going to be another 5 weeks, and then I'll be back to normal. Oh, that sounds like a long time. Ooh. And they actually put it like, it's like a boot. They wrapped it up, and it's kind of like a boot, but I can take it out after 72 hours. I could take it out today, but I think I'm going to wait till Sunday because, you know, I want all of the pain and all of the numbness to completely go away before I just take it out and clean it. And then after I clean it, I have to pat it dry. And then I had to go ahead and, you know, put it back on. But I'm going to show you guys what kind of boot it is. See, it looks a little like this. So I can just, you know, go ahead and unwrap it and clean it and wrap it back up, put it back in there. And then on the 18th, they might put it in a permanent boot. Well, not permanent boot, but, you know, like a black boot. Something that's covering up my toes and everything. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. And I will take it easy. And I will follow all of the doctor's procedures. But my leg is still swollen. And it feels like it's like 40 pounds heavy. And they did mention that it was going to feel like that. But that's from like all of the numbing medicine that they gave me. But yeah, guys, that's my story on my surgery. Stay tuned for more updates. And hopefully the pain don't come back because that pain is no joke. All right, you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. I also forgot to mention that the nurse also asked me if I remember anything during the procedure. And I told her, no, I mean, I was sedated. I mean, how can I remember? She said, oh, do you remember waking up during the procedure? I said, no, I didn't wake up. She said, well, actually, you did. She said, in the middle of the procedure, while we had your leg and your foot cut open, you opened up your eyes and you started looking around the room like you were confused. And then you swung and you hit me in the head. This was the student doctor that was telling me all this. I said, I hit you in the head. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. She said they had to get 4 nurses to hold me down. I feel so bad. I feel so bad.